Alright folks, Portuguese Idiot, we are back playing Criminal Case. We are headed to San Francisco. Up in smoke. Ace, I've loved traveling the world with you, but I admit I'm glad to be back stateside. But even home soil feels shaky after recent upheavals. In Mexico, the border wall the U.S. is building has created tensions high enough to cause murder. With the international community getting involved in the dispute, a movement appeared in America to leave the unified nations altogether. Now there's a huge debate between the U.S. Nay movement, which wants the country to leave the UN, and the U.S. Stay movement, which wants to remain. Both are trying to influence the people and the government. I don't understand how things got to this point, Ace. Last time I was in the U.S., there wasn't any of this nay-stay nonsense. Well, times have changed, and we have to deal with it. Little as I like politics getting in the way of our investigations, when A. Scott Sombers found her in Colombia, he gloated about the trouble that they were about to raise in the north, and I'm seeing plenty of trouble. Ace, if Sombers began the recent political turmoil, then they'll certainly take advantage of it. You must uncover what's going on here. You should start by talking to the U.S. State movement leader, Sandy Turner, who's based here in San Francisco. That's easy enough, Ace. Sandy's giving a speech in the city right now. Let's go there. And that's why we Americans need to remain in the United Nations. We make a stronger world by cooperation. U.S. Stay, U.S. Stay, U.S. Stay, U.S. Stay. Reminds me of like Brexit. U.S. Stay is a choice to believe in the world. We continue our alliance with this brave experiment called freedom. Thank you, America. Ace, there was quite some crowd around Mr. Turner. Good thing we have our bureau badges to get us close to him. Trooper Ace, nice to meet you. I've heard of the Bureau's work. Did you like my speech? We only caught the end of it. The reason we're here is because... Oh, I'm dreadfully sorry. I just remembered I have another appointment. I'd love to talk to you in quieter surroundings. Could we meet in, say, an hour? Well, we're really in a rush, so... Well, Ace, he didn't even let me finish. He went straight to his car. I guess all we can do is wait. What was that, Ace? The explosion came from the Lombard Street. Mr. Turner went that way. Let's go there. So Lombard Street, the famous street in San Francisco, where it kind of goes, you know, left, right, left, right. It's very zigzaggy and it's a very steep grade. I've actually driven down with my family. I was young though, probably like 10, but I kind of remember it's weird. Camera. Oh my gosh, we have 2 victims. That's kind of a first. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna have to remind me. I don't recall we had 2 victims before. Hey, so Mr. Turner's dead. The explosion we heard came from his car. His driver's still alive, but barely. He's in the hands of the emergency services. You're right, the car's more damaged on Sandy's side. He was clearly an intended murder victim. The poor driver was only collateral damage. I can't believe this happened right under our noses. Ace, I won't rest until we know who's behind this. We better look at the clues before the reporters get here. That broken clipboard might tell us more about Sandy's movements. Let's pick that up. And somebody dropped their camera when the crowd fled the scene. Maybe the killer caught on it. That'd be a welcome change. Let's unlock it. Hey, Sandy Turner was an influential public figure. His murder won't go unnoticed. We've got to act fast. Wow. That's nuts. Anyways, guys, I'm going to grab some stars. I will see you guys back. It has been Portuguese 88. Au revoir. Alright, folks, Portuguese 88, we are back. So I grabbed some stars. You guys, yep, Brexit. Definitely. That's what I thought. Not at the time, but now as they're talking about it more and more, it makes more sense. Hey, so the clipboard shows the route Sandy was supposed to follow after her speech, but apparently there was a last-minute change. It says on the bottom that the new itinerary was approved by his campaign manager. According to the U.S. State website, Sandy's campaign manager is Letitia Badu. Let's go talk to Letitia. Let's look at the camera as well. That's not it. It's that. Oh, I was just going really quick with it. Let's see. Nope. Look at this, Ace. The camera's full of photos taken right before our victim's death. There's Sandy waving as he leaves the rally, heading down Lombard Street where he was killed. Which means that whoever took this picture must have witnessed the explosion. And nicely spotted, Ace. There's a name on the scribble on top of the camera. Terrence Williams. That must be the camera's owner. We need to have a word with Terrence about these photos. Hey, Miss Badu, this is Senior Trooper Ace from the Bureau. We'd like to ask you some questions about Sandy Turner's death. Oh, it's terrible. Our movement's in tatters, our staff's panicking. I must alert the family of that poor driver and plan Sandy's funeral. Speaking of plans, you recently changed Mr. Turner's route from the rally, given that he was killed soon after. I know it's terrible. Sandy kept receiving death threats, and I took precautions, but I never thought someone would actually try and kill him. What sort of threats? And who sent them? Some crazies were sending them, anonymously protesting our movement. I threw the threats in the trash where they belong. I don't know how the assassins slip past our security, but I hope you'll catch them. At a time like this, the American people need to see justice served. I don't think it's her. So our victim was receiving death threats. I can't believe his campaign manager didn't keep them. But you're right, Sandy's death is probably linked to his involvement in the U.S. state movement. Let's have a closer look at the rally stage. Agree? I did the time attack, so I should be able to find everything. Hey, Mr. Williams, Senior Trooper Ace got a few questions about the assassination of Sandy Turner. Oh, it's awful. Literally the worst. I saw the blast, you know. I was supposed to do a photo report of the U.S. State rally for my politics class, but I kind of ran late. Mr. Turner's car was leaving as I arrived. I figured my professor would have my head if I showed with nothing, so I took some photos of Mr. Turner. Then out of nowhere, bang. Everyone was running around. I thought I'd be next. I just dropped my camera and bolted. We've seen the pictures you took before the explosion. Did you notice anything unusual? No, dude. It just seemed like an ordinary day, you know? I don't think anyone saw that blast coming. Well, Mr. Williams, to recall anything, be sure to let us know. Alright. Alright, what do we got here? Trash bag. Flamingo's new. Yep. Soda can, basketball, ladybug, hot dog. Perfect. Another star. Ooh. Wow. Nice. Well, luckily the rally's over. Looking for clues in the crowd would have been impossible. I agree, Ace. If you dig through the trash, we found plenty of useful things chucked in bins in the past. But I'm less sure about this giant inflatable flamingo ring, but if you want to take a sample from it, I'm not going to burst your balloon. Well, thank you. Thank you, Garvin. Yeah, I know, I saw you guys' comments. Thanks for just reading through it. That was a rough additional investigation, man. Just sad. They do a really good job. Pretty simple of stories, man. I'm not an expert, Ace, but that electronic device you found in the trash looks like a remote detonator. Let's get the device to Jonah. Maybe he can confirm our suspicions. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. This could totally be a TV series. I shudder to think what the substance from the flamingo ring might be, Ace. I suppose a look under the microscope will tell us. Not too shabby. Whoa. Chakas. She's back. Ace, the stuff you found on that flamingo ring turned out to be sweat belonging to a certain Chakas Deluxe. Wait a minute, that name sounds familiar. You're right, Chakas is the name of that drag queen we met in Australia. What's she doing at a political rally in San Francisco? Best ask Chakas directly. Nice, she's back. I highly doubt she's El Rey. But it's good to see her back. Hello again, Chakas. You're looking fabulous as usual. Oh, well, you have to be fabulous if you want to conquer America with your new show. A new show? Well, that explains the giant flamingo that announced your entrance. But what were you doing at the U.S. Day rally? Oh, Darl. The rally was going to be my biggest scene. I convinced Sandy Turner to let me perform. Sandy Turner was going to let you perform? Really? My big American debut was scheduled for tomorrow. Stars and banners and glitter. Except that somebody went and murdered darling Sandy. Now the rally won't go forward and I won't perform. The explosion blasted my dreams away. Well, we'll make sure to continue your dreaming nearby in case the neutral race has more questions for you. How much you want to bet that she was and then they cancel it? Because that doesn't sound like something he'd be okay with. We're going to speed these things up because I have enough stars to start Chapter 2. Hey Jonah, you're always fond of explosions. What can you tell us about the device Ace found at the rally site? Well, as you suspected, this device is a homemade remote detonator. Very well crafted too. It triggers an electronic fuse via radio signal. So this is how the killer set off the explosion. You said the detonator uses radio signal. Does that mean our killer didn't have to be on Lombard Street to trigger the explosion and kill our victim? Yeah, they could have done it from the rally site, but there's more. I noticed a strange smell on the device, and I sent to Lars to confirm my suspicions. Lars found some ash inside the remote detonator, and it turned out to be cannabis, so the killer smoked up while they built the device. Our killer might be blowing trees, but Ace is not going to stop until they smoke him out. Not surprising. San Francisco. Cannabis. Ace, being back home in the States almost made me forget I'm here for work, but then boom, you bring me another cadaver. And boom's the operative word. The angle and depth of your victim's injuries indicate that he was killed by an explosive device located on his person. So the victim was wearing the explosive? Yes, I found pieces of a tie pin embedded in his chest. I believe that was the source of the blast. The leader of the U.S. state movement was killed with a tie pin? How could such a small thing cause such a big explosion? Explosives and elaborate engineering. I found slivers of aluminum alloy and tungsten carbide in his soft tissue. They're used in state-of-the-art electronic equipment. The killer built an explosive device out of these complex materials. They must be adept at handling electronic equipment. So our killer knows electronics. Well, where there's smoke, there's fire, Ace, and we've got a hot lead. Ace. We came to San Francisco to talk to Sandy Turner, but our talk lasted only a few minutes, and the next thing we know, he's dead. What have you discovered about Turner's murder, Ace? His driver's still in a coma, and the press are on fire with speculation about the attack. Well, we know the killer used a remote detonator to trigger an explosive tie pin Sandy was wearing, which means that the killer might have been far away from the blast, but they still had to get close enough to Sandy to stick the pin on him. Sandy's politics must be central to this murder. He received death threats over his passionate campaigning for the U.S. to remain in the Unified Nations. Well, this political murder isn't what America needs right now. We don't have enough leads to move forward. Ace, I've got news. Come at once. Sandy's driver has woken up. Sweet. Yeah, I feel so bad knocking Ingrid for so long. Now I completely understand. But anyways, guys, I will see you guys in the next chapter. This has been Pitching Ace 88. Over and out.